Of all the boys on the island, Piggy usually makes the most lasting impression on it in the readers. He's the one person we remember really well at the end of the book, and it's because he's so different to all the other boys in every possible way, both physically and mentally. Just to look at him physically, we know that he's fat, as opposed to the other boys. He can't see very well, he wears glasses, which has a lot to do with the story, but also we know that Piggy is sick. Yeah. He has asthma. We also know that he can't swim. And these are all things that make him a little bit different. He's also different to the other boys mentally as well. He's smart, he has a certain amount of intelligence. He's very much he's a rational thinker, sort of our representative of the scientific or the rational world that the boys come from that civilized world that they've come from, and he's one of their main links to that civilized world, is this boy has a lot of answers, has a lot of ideas, and we see that in many of the things he does. He's the one that wants to organise the boys, wants to write down all their names, get a list of the names. He's the one who takes the conch, identifies it, but gives it meaning as well. He turns it into something of not just power, but something that has a real function, just like a tool of civilization. And his glasses are also something that he possesses that the boys needed. It allows them to make fire. So his glasses play a very key role in this whole process. Despite all these things, despite what he has to offer these people, he still becomes an outsider, and more than that, he also becomes a target of ridicule. If we look at the way Jack and the other boys, their attitude towards him is quite harmful. They're never really kind to him. The only person who's really kind to Piggy is Simon. Even his relationship with Ralph, despite his loyalty to Ralph, is also a sort of double-edged sword, as there are moments when Ralph himself turns to other people, and he's not as loyal to Piggy as you would have expected him to be for someone who has so much to offer him. And that's quite ironic if you go back to the beginning of the story. When Piggy and Ralph first meet, you see Piggy's need for a friend, and he identifies Ralph as a friend, telling him what his name was in the old world. Please don't tell anyone. The first thing that Ralph does is Ralph tells the others what Piggy's real name is, and that remains his name for the duration of the book. It follows him, it haunts him. What we see in Piggy is ultimately someone who is seeking safety, seeking protection in what we would call civilization. He tried to keep a hold of so many things of organisation, of harmony, of talking about things, coming to logical decisions, because he knew without that civilization, without that protection, that he didn't stand a chance. Ironically, the only thing that Piggy's got going for him at the end of the day is the fact that he is the one person who is generally right. That's something we can possibly emphasize, or have to emphasize, about Piggy. The fact that he's right in so many situations, but unfortunately for Piggy, that is just not enough. Being right is not enough. And as he finds out power and might, and what comes about as a result of that is far more important than being right, and being right is no match for those other qualities, and this ultimately leads to his downfall, and ultimately in him being murdered by the other group, and primarily by Roger.